I'm actually going to start off with showing you what I've been doing. I did a video on the Navy yard switchers last week and got them running really well. And I just wanted to share my next steps that I did with these. I thought they'd look pretty cool if they had lights. They do have a little area in the front and the back with a little lens, but they don't come with lights. So I thought I would put in a light in the front and the back of both the switchers. So I did one already and just wanted to show you what that looks like. And I think it looks pretty cool. So next up, we're going to open up the other one and do the same thing. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll join you in the second pack at the table. Okay, so we're back at the table, and I started off today with a train running actually around my test track. I had two of these I did a video on last week where I took them apart, cleaned them all out, put them back together, got them to run very, very well, I think. I'm satisfied with that. But, you know, I'm a guy that likes lights. I like lights and things. These switchers, they don't come with lights from Lionel. They got a lens in the front and in the back, but they just don't have lights in them. So I have a bunch of LED lights I bought, a couple years ago. And I've been putting them in things little by little as I go along because I like lights. I said, so you saw what that one looked like. So we're going to do this one together. It only takes a few minutes. So I thought, anybody who likes the same thing would like to have lights and things that don't have a light. It's very simple. Doesn't take long, a few minutes, and it's not very expensive. I bought a packet of these lights, like I said, a couple years ago. I think it was $10, $12 maybe a packet, and I think there was 20, 30 pieces in here. I don't even remember. But they seem to work very well, and I like the light they send off. It's kind of a bluish light. It's not the yellow light like the old light bulbs, but I like it anyway. So anyway, we'll just get started. We can chat while I'm doing this. Take the screws out like before. They're not overly tight because I don't like to over tight anything. That's what cracks the plastic. But take these off and set that there. So like I said, these LED lights are pretty simple to use. They have a red for the positive side, the black wire for the negative side. They have a teeny bit exposed with a little solder on them just to keep the stranded wire together. So again, we have I'm gonna turn this around, make it easier for me. We have hot right here, as always. This side of the switch is hot, and we know we have ground right over here. So we're going to connect it up as such. But before we do that, I'm going to show you where we're going to put them. I'm going to put one in for the rear and one in for the front. And it's kind of cool. These lenses that they put in are actually hollow. And the light, the bulb is very, I call it a bulb, it's not a bulb. But this piece fits pretty nicely just about inside. It doesn't go all the way in. Let me see, my fingers are too big. But you can see it slides in there a little bit and kind of stays there. So that's kind of cool. So what I do is to make it semi-permanent, you can tape them in with some little piece of black tape, electrical tape, or you can glue them to the, if you like. I don't like anything too overly permanent, so I just use a piece of packing tape, and I'm going to cut it in half a little bit and save one for the front, save one for the back light. So what I kind of do is, away from the hole where the switch comes out, I'm just going to hold my finger down and put this right over the wires. And since it slips into that hole a little bit, it's not going to pop out as long as these wires don't move. And it's out of the way. It'll be over top. nothing gets hot enough to melt the tape, melt the wires. So now we have 2 leads, and that we can hook up to the contactor. So what I'm going to do is take the second one, kind of get these out of the way a little bit, and we're going to pop the other one down there. And same thing, it's got a little hole that's hollow there. So, whoop, these keep getting in my way. We're going to shove these through the side over here and pull them out of my way. How's that for a temporary fix? So we're going to slide that into the hole of that back lens, just like that. And I'm going to take my other piece of tape, get that back in there, keep it steady, and I'm going to put this right over top of those wires again. There, that'll keep it to the lens. It's not going to pop out of that hole, and the wires hold it down. And if you don't like the idea, if you want to take it out one day, it's pretty simple. But like I said, I like light and everything. So with that said, all you need is your soldering gun and a little bit of solder, which I have. I have a little bit. I do have more, but I just want to put a little bit on the gun. So what I'm going to do is heat this up, and I'm going to do my negative ones here first, I think. Get that ready while I'm squeezing the trigger. Pull these back out of that hole. Come on now. Okay, so we're going to do the black wires first. I'm just going to put a little bit of solder on these wires. Just enough to wet them, you know, make sure there's a little solder on them. So when I heat this up and put it on there, they'll be ready to go. So I'm going to drop a little bit of solder on here. You can do however you're comfortable with soldering, but that's what I like to do. Put a little bit on there. And I know my gun's a little bigger than it needs to be for this work, but give it a second. There you go. So then we're going to do the same thing here. Let me set this down, get these wires sort of situated. Get these pulled through the same way, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the 2 ends here kind of lined up. You don't have to twist them around. You can if you want. If you want to twist them and so on. I'm just going to move this closer because I'm going to reach them over to here. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get a little solder on here, get them ready, and we're going to pop them right onto this contactor right here. We know that's hot all the time. It's what runs the switch. So get a little solder on these. I know the wires are very fine, but it helps to get these hot, get those ready to go. So when you heat this up down here, I hope you can see that okay. But like I said, we're heating up. There we go. There we go. Let that cool a second. Give a little tug. Oh, yeah, here's a little bit. Needs a little splash more here. This one's being stubborn. Okay, we're going to heat this up again. Get that one back over here. I think we got it this time. Okay. Cool. So these are put together. These are together. So all we have to do now is kind of tuck them back out of the way and feed it back over to the switch, which is on this side. Let me flip this around again. We can line everything up okay. I just kind of push these off to the side. You can put a little wire around these, tie wrap, tape, whatever you'd like to do to them. It's not that big of a deal to get them in here. So, except we'll line that up, get these back down on. Make sure we're down good. Make sure we don't have any wires sticking out anywhere. I don't think we do. So we're good there. We're good there. We'll pop our screws back in, and with a little luck, they'll work. Now I tested the lights before I started, so in case anybody's out there saying, "Well, I would have tested the lights first to make sure they worked." Well, I did. They're LEDs. They're pretty foolproof. They last a long time. They don't get hot. They draw very little power. So you saw a video on this one already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop for a second. We're going to get these back on the track, and I'm going to show you with both of them with the lights in them. So give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, we got these two back on the track, and they have a little bit of a load to pull, but they're yard switchers. That's what they're made to do. So let's see how the lights work. Oh, look at that, pretty cool. Both front lights are on. Both back lights are on. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, I just like to have lights. I don't understand why they'd put a lens into one of the switchers and not put a light behind it. There's a lot of switchers that they made back in the day, and they did not put lights in it for whatever reason. But it's easy to do. As you can see, it took me a couple minutes, and it adds a pretty cool feature to any car, rolling stock, any engine, switcher, whatever. If it don't have a light, you can put some in. Alright, very cool. So, until next time, Mark from MT.TrainRestorations, feel free to drop by a message to me, and I'd love to chat with you, and let me know what you'd like to see on another project. Bye for now.